Hello guys, welcome back to Reggie J and B, back with another video, and back with another video, man, let's get it. And yeah, how have y'all been, just tell me how have y'all been in the comments, or just tell me how have y'all been right now. No, like, please tell me, actually, how have you been? I want to know, like, just tell me, like, oh, you don't want to tell me? Forget you then. All right, let's get into it. So basically, if you read by the title, right, this video is about numbers and how you shouldn't really get obsessed with them, right? And it kind of draws from my own experience because I want to start making more videos on this channel that aligns with more of my own, like, experiences. So, like, I could relate to y'all if y'all are going through the same issue that I'm going through, right? But, so basically, numbers, don't get too caught up with them. I've been uploading shorts, TikToks, and Reels these past few days on all of my accounts, right? And what I've learned over the days is that views and impressions, they don't really matter. Like, I've learned over the past few days that they don't matter. Back when I was younger, I used to get so caught up whenever I uploaded, like, a mock YouTube video, right? Basically just a YouTube video that wasn't really anything serious, right? It got, like, let's say it got like 16 views or whatever, right? I thought, shoot, I'm gonna upload another one and we'll aim for like 50 views or 100 views or whatever, and it's like, I got just so caught up with numbers back then, and it's like, they don't really matter. They don't really matter if it's not actual engagement. Now, if you know about this channel, or if you know me, you will know that I don't really beg for subscribers. I don't beg for likes or comments or shares or reposts. But all I ask is that you at least either like it or just share it. That's all I ask, like it or share it. I don't really care for subscribers. If you don't want to subscribe, cool. But at least like it or share it, because it helps me get my message in the algorithm and helps more people find my channel, and just, yeah, helps me get my message across to more audiences. But basically, I'm not really big on, like, begging people for, like, subscribers, how some YouTubers do it. But what I've noticed is that people who watch videos and, views and impressions, right, they don't really matter, bro. They don't, So that's why I'm saying in this video, don't get too caught up with numbers, because a lot of people on social media are obsessed with numbers, I've seen it in real time. And mainly it's because of an ego boost, I'm not one of those people, even though, yes, I do want, support on my, like, videos and content. I'm not one of those people to constantly, seek out numbers or trying to get 1 million views on this video or 5 million views on this, trying to blow up and this and that. And it's like, numbers, bro, are a distraction. Numbers, in my personal opinion, are a distraction. And I personally believe that if you get too caught up with numbers, it's a deadly game. If you get too caught up with numbers, it's like you lose focus of what's important. If you get too caught up with numbers, trying to blow up, trying to get popular, trying to get rich and famous so quick, one, that's instant gratification, and two, you lose sight of what's actually important. You start to focus on quantity over quality, and when you focus on numbers too much and too often, you focus on quantity, not quality, where your main focus should be quality. People will come watch your videos or stream your music or whatever, right? But if you put out let's say you put out like 500 songs, right? Let's say you put out like 500 videos, right? Trying to get popular, trying to get popular, right? And it's like, yeah, that's cool or whatever, right? But if you lose sight of what's actually important, if the quality isn't that good, right? You gotta really take a step back and like really focus on the quality of your work instead of the quantity, because people will come watch your videos one day. I promise it. But you can't just let focus, you can't let numbers be the main focus of what you're trying to achieve. You know, of course, it's important. I do believe numbers are important. I'm not saying they're not. But if your main focus is getting popular, blowing up, numbers, and this and that, and it's like, you lose focus of it. You lose focus of what's actually important. And your time will come. Your time will come when you get popular. Your turn will happen one day. You just gotta keep working on. Like keep working hard on your content. Believe in God, trust in Him, keep living right, and just keep being yourself and making sure your work is important and is of quality, because someone will appreciate it one day. It may not seem a lot at first, but someone will appreciate your content one day. There may be some kid, you may live in America making like skits, right? You may live in, let's say you are a person living in like Utah. Utah, what goes on in Utah? Who knows, right? But let's say you are a kid living in Utah or Ohio or, basically like the other like unknown states, right? And you make skit videos, of just comedy skits or whatever. You may not know it yet, but there's probably some kid in like Germany or Africa, or there's probably some kid in like Switzerland or Sweden watching your content, you know? I make music, on the side. And there were some people in like other countries streaming up my music. So I believe like you never know who's watching, always know that too. You never know who's watching. So it may seem like, the first few numbers, the first few streams or whatever you get may seem small at first. It'll be small at first, Nothing comes easy, but you gotta really make sure that, you gotta like really realize that there's probably some people like waiting for you to drop more skit videos in other parts of the country or in other parts of, the planet. You gotta like realize that there's probably an unknown German kid, or an unknown African kid who listened to your song and he felt inspired. You just never know, you just never know where your content can make an impact at, and just keep working hard, trust God, trust your vision, and live right. That's all it is to it. But thank you for watching this video. The main takeaway from this is don't focus on numbers. Do not focus on numbers. I know, you want to focus on how many views or streams you get, or if this video underperformed, or if this video skyrocketed to like 1 million views or whatever, and you want to try and replicate that. But stay focused on what's truly important. Don't sell out, and keep your morals right, and focus on the quality, not the quantity. So yeah, thank you. Richard James B. More content on the way.